very well on getting lead in their own right as well. And with a double release, the lead will actually be to white, which is Rassassin. So effectively keeping the pace up, forcing the call off. So we're going to sit at zeros, keep the score where it was. Dixie going back to their 1-2 rotation that they started the first half with. Squeak hopping out there for Muscogee. And it's gonna be Wile E. Coyote with the lead. And now getting the recycle is Muscogee, trying to buy some time for their jammer to get through. Wiley dips it, takes it back forward, chips out one more time. Quick little offensive assist from the inside, breaks Squeaks out. Looks like that opportunity came courtesy of a penalty. Wiley getting right back into the mix, and once again, it is that multiplayer call, the same one that was a problem for Muscogee in the first half, taking their blocker off to the penalty box. And Wile E. Coyote taking a little whip off of Hannibal Wrecker prior to going to the penalty box. Gonna go ahead and rock out a multi-pass run is Wiley for 12 points. Muscogee able to put 4 up against. So we're going to start off with a pack advantage going for Dixie. Going to have Weeble trying to break the inside against Lightning McQuad. Oh, and Weeble heading off to the penalty box with a track cut. Lightning McQuad with lead and a power jam opportunity. It's now only the second jammer penalty of the game going against Dixie. Coming against the strongest jammer thus far for Muscogee. Lightning McQuad able to break the difference there between Kutsia and Adam Smasher. And looking to freeze, Weeble in the penalty box, going to reset this for a power start. Going on to the skates of 2859 Rassassin. Once again, Muscogee trying to set up their quick jam start offense. Oh, and not needing to do anything, Rassassin bolts through for lead. That is now 4 out of the first 5 jams going for Muscogee. And with a little zigzag action, Rassassin able to put 4 points onto the board before Weeble was able to come at the back. And we're going to have Wile E. Coyote and Cold Sassy B on the jammer line, already coming into jam number 6. And once again, Muscogee showing strong here in the second half. That is 3 out of the last 3 and 5 out of the total 6 here in the second half. And we have our first star pass of the evening for Dixie going on to Kutsia, number 495. Once again, a big shout out to Grub South, our big sponsor for the season. Eating just got easier. You can find them on Jefferson Street in downtown Huntsville, but they deliver your favorites from Huntsville, Madison, Athens, Decatur, Coleman, and the Shoals right to your door. So if you want something delicious, you don't have an excuse. If you don't want to leave the house, Grub South will bring it to you. We got our first team time out for Dixie. This one coming courtesy of a strong run here at the start of the second half by Muscogee. And I want to recognize our diehard fans, Dixie Henson, Eric Henson, Heidi Henson, our folks from Grub South, Kelly Dees Acuna, Kip Shepard, Remy Dees the Raymanator, Teresa Gray, Wiley's mom, and the one-person party, Chris Tree Gibson. And 1 minute concludes the timeout. It's going to bring us jam number 7 and the jamming styles of Mariah Cherry and Sedusa. And that's Mariah Cherry breaking the back first for lead. And another quick pass. 4 points onto the board. And once again, it's going to be a multiplayer penalty going against the Muscogee blocker. As Mariah Cherry able to keep the skates moving forward. 4 more points. The star has changed hands. Now onto the helmet. Number 34, Rambumptious. Rambumptious looking to make it in and out. Sticks the foot down to the inside. Able to put 4 points against Mariah Cherry's 12. That really was pretty. I thought that really was pretty. A nice little shift and stick to run forward. Check that. We're going to bring that point down total to 8. So, nope. I'm just going to wait. We're going to wait till the next jam starts. 11 points is where we're going to sit. So 150 to 77. Mini Militia getting getting train wrecked by Lightning McQuad, but Lightning McQuad got a little extracurricular, used a forearm, and so it will be a power jam and Mini Militia with lead. And using a little bit of a zigzag action to clear the pack for 4 points, Mini Militia turning it over quick, looking for some help from friends. Good stall out there, block coming from the back end, that time on the hip of Hollipop. Just enough to be able to get Mini Militia stalled. Lightning McQuad out of the box and through the pack with determination. That time, Jet Fuel able to get a shoulder in to create the recycle for Mini Militia. After the reset, Mini Militia back into the mix. Little discussion from the inside. Points going up onto the board for Muscogee. Able to come out of the box on the penalty. Able to get 2 points. 8-2 is the jam. We're going to take an official timeout. Going to double check the score. We're going to bring that game total up to 80 for Muscogee. And calls into play Rassassin and Wiley Coyote. Rassassin back up off the deck and back in the mix, but it's Wiley Coyote breaking the pack first for lead. And feeling the heat, Wiley Coyote busts into the back, calls out the jam, able to freeze out the speedy Rassassin. Once again, the after party is going to be at Rocket Republic, just around the way at 289 Production Avenue. You're going to meet everybody there. Weeble, Squeaks, blockers in the way. Who's going to solve the puzzle first? And finally taking off the shoulder of Brick, it's going to be Weeble with lead, making it 4 in a row. It's hard to get a little cough as I was doing that. I was like, I was trying to hold it off. Once again, strong defense coming on the floor for Dixie, but with the no-pack call, Squeaks able to find open space. Weeble trying to make a run through, takes the shoulder of Brick, calls out the jam. And on that last pass of the track, it's going to be 3 apiece, but 4 to the advantage of Dixie, 169-83. And a longtime jammer for Muscogee getting your first opportunity out here. It's going to be Jet Fuel. Been blocking most of the evening. Well, I'm saying most of the evening, all of the evening, since this is the first opportunity to jam. Mini Militia trying to race her way back around the pack to get some points before the call-off. Unable to, but the defense holds up strong, only surrendering 1. So we're almost halfway through the second. As we start jam number 12 with Rassassin and Mariah Cherry. Tough defense on both sides. Mariah Cherry absolutely finding the last sliver of space to get that lead jam status. And finally, hearing the call off from the bench, Ryan Cherry calls off the jam. But not before Sasson able to get 3 points in, 1 point advantage on the jam for Dixie. So happy with what they saw the last time out. Jet Fuel going to retake the track for the second time as a jammer, going up against the Wile E. Coyote. Wile E. Coyote able to grab that lead quickly for a little up and under on the inside. Wile able to run out of the contact from Hollipop, calls off the jam. So both teams trading off lead jammer status here in the second half. Really playing an extremely even game here in the second. So we're going to have Weeble and Squeaks back in. Squeaks trying to drive that defense forward. One left to beat. That's going to be Magley, the pivot. Gets out of play, has to surrender contact. So lead is now going to be for Muscogee and Squeaks. One of the few times we have seen Weeble bottled up at all in the defense. Good back and forth track. Of course, the opposing defense, that is Dixie, doing the same. Once again, it is a last line defender. That is Magley. So the quick slasher at the end by Weeble, 4 points onto the board. So in the first half, we ended it at 127-49. As I said, it is a game of two halves and a quick outside run. Lightning McQuad able to grab lead. Actually, check that. The OPR on the outside says it was a track cut. Lead now going to Mini Militia. Quick chip out to the inside, Asian Invasion looking to run the offense for Mini Militia. Mini able to push her way through, grabs 4 more points on to the board in this power jam opportunity. Dixie playing a little bit of divide and conquer offense, seeing if they can set a pack at the back. And Mini unable to make it cleanly through on the inside. Trades off that power jam opportunity to Lightning McQuad. Lightning McQuad bouncing off the hip, but very dangerous. Resets behind BOA. And after taking some abuse, Lightning McQuad able to track through, putting 4 points onto the board. And both jammers back into play. Mini Militia now reconnecting. Oh, and a penalty now going against Lightning McQuad. Another power jam opportunity coming for Dixie. We have an official timeout on the inside. And now that will be changed to an official review. Muscogee will be taking their official review. So hopefully we'll get back with you on the information on this official review. And while we're saying official over and over and over, let's talk about our officials. It's Zero Factorial, Kara Vorkian, Catatat-Tat, Bully, Vanilla Vice, and Mage. Also, The Oddfather, Odd or No Better, Cheshire Stat, Nymphomaniac, Pumpkin, Peter Parker, Big Papa, Killer Bree, Sly Lingual, and Nene. So prior to that last jam, so we're looking at 15-4. So prior to that last jam, in the half, we were looking at what was essentially a dead even score for the second half. So we ended at 127-49 in the first. Thus far in the second, if it was just a game in and of itself, albeit prior to this last jam, big points put up on the board, it was 54-51. Of course, now with the 15 points, that's going to make that 69-55. Still an incredibly tight second half. It's what I say about roller derby. You just never know what's going to happen when you come out of the locker room. A lot of times, teams are able to reassess what they did in the first and make changes and improvements, because one of the hardest things to do in any kind of sport is to maintain the discipline of what you're doing if you're doing it well. Once again, a shout out to our sponsors. Choose Your Moments Photography with Shutterstruck, Grub South, and our juniors had APT Research and Jax. Also want to thank the folks here at the Insanity Complex for their hard work. And want to recognize our charity of the bout, United Cerebral Palsy of Huntsville and Tennessee Valley. Muscogee does not retain the review. They were looking to grab a couple more points on to their game total there in that last jam. As every point matters in these games, not just for wins, but for ranking point opportunities, as Wile E. Coyote spins it around to grab lead. And once again, able to ride a shaky leg over here in the turn to grab another 4 points. Lightning McQuad taking a quick dash out of the penalty box, into the pack. As the jam was called on the opposite side of the track. Going to give 2 points onto the board for Muscogee. Opposite of Wile E. Coyote's 8. This game's starting to get a weird rhythm now. Had a good rhythm there for a while. Now it's getting a little weird and clunky. Let's get a quick official timeout. A little bit of an odd call off there at the end because it occurred on one side of the track while the majority of bodies were on the other. And you fans were being loud and proud. There's nothing wrong with that. Here we go. We got it sorted. We're back in action. This is gonna be Weeble and Rassassin. And Rassassin able to break through, grabs that lead. Able to slide through the outside, calls off the jam, keeps a foot on the track long enough to get 4 points. So we're going to sit there at 100 to 204. One more quick official timeout here. Gives you an opportunity to look at your program. I can tell you, we looking for sponsors. Shows our sponsorship package levels. They're at the back. You can get me talking about you all game long, like the folks out here from Grubb South. Like our wonderful photographer, Shutterstruck, with Choose Your Moments Photography. You can have me say whatever you want. Put some money in the pockets of these skaters into their bank account. I'll be like Ron Burgundy out here. Just put it in front of me, I'll read it. And we're off into jam number 18. Wile E. Coyote squeaks. Wile E. Coyote breaking the back with lead. And we're getting to the point where it's like we're almost giving out penalties like participation prizes. And courtesy of a shoulder there from Hollipop, Wile E. Coyote calls off the jam with a signature oof. All right, jam number 19 is going to bring us jet fuel and Weeble. And it's going to be Weeble slipping out first. Lead jam for Dixie. Weeble back in the mix, looking to try and get a little help from friends, taking to the deck. Taking the turn past Hollipop, calls off the jam as jet fuel was blazing at the back of the pack. Able to put 4 points onto the board and freeze out Muscogee. Once again, we are turning this jam number over and over with amazing alacrity. So we start jam number 20 with just a little more than a little under 6 minutes left to go in the game. Mariah Cherry trying to flex and move side to side, rambunctious, trying to power. Defense doing exactly what they're there to do, defend their space. Time Ryan Cherry going around the outside. Gets called by track cut. Third jammer penalty of the half for Dixie against 3 for Muscogee. Now power jam opportunity for Rambunctious. Rambunctious got caught on the shoulder there of Adam Smasher, now getting tacoed between Rowley and Kutsia. Web spinner. Colts has to be trying to get in the mix. Amazing job was the Dixie defenders to just roll off the offense. So once again, looking at an incredibly tight second half here. Kind of belies the score we see now. So we have Weeble and Rassassin out there as our jammers. And it's going to be Rassassin grabbing lead for Muscogee. Assassin trying to take a chip turn on the inside. As we have an official review being called from the Dixie bench. So while you have the time, you can take yourself over to our vendor village real quick, grab you one last beverage, a little snack at the concessions, whatever you need. We're going to be trading off our captains here for Muscogee as Brick has taken one too many sits in the penalty box. And will now get to be a spectator as the rest of us after a wonderfully played game. I travel around a lot to announce roller derby for lots of teams, and always happy to see these teams when they come here to play us. Because while these players want to win these games on the floor, they're all friends when it's over. Because the roller derby is a very tight, close-knit community. And now shenanigans run amok around the Oddfather. The Oddfather getting bathed in derby funk. A veritable maypole of derby funk. So if you're a fan of Wile E. Coyote, I want to hear you give me a big woo! So it's all the officials are the winners this evening, as now 2 official reviews. 2 times the officials were right. But they're always right. Now, we do the official reviews because sometimes different angles, different things. So Dixie will not retain the review. They were looking for a cut. The cut was seated. The no call stands. And we are back with Lightning McQuad and Wile E. Coyote. And it's going to be Lightning McQuad with a track cut. And Wile E. Coyote with lead. And with a quick roll-off offense there, Adam Smasher breaks Wile E. Coyote through for 4 points. That time, Wile E. Coyote gets stalled out. Unable to get by Gates. This time, unable to get by Hollipop. Hollipop getting tagged by Karavorigan for a failure return. Pack penalty. Position penalty. Once again, Lightning McQuad out of the box. Quickly through the pack. And from a seated position, Wile E. Coyote calls out the jam. 4 more points onto the board, 12-point jam here in the late going. So we are now just under a jam clock left to go in our game time. Rassassin, Weeble, seen this matchup often here in the second half. And it's going to be Weeble grabbing that lead for Dixie. Weeble breaking out, calls off the jam before Rassassin able to get in there and gravity points. Does grab the hips of Very Dangerous, though, to help her up off the track. Like I said, it's all friendly out here. It's again all smiles. Just because you want to win doesn't mean you got to be a jerk, and nobody's a jerk out here. And here we go, Mariah Cherry squeaks. Potentially our last jam of the evening. And it's going to be Mariah Cherry, making it 3 in a row. And we are under 30 seconds left to go on the game clock, matched by a minute more on our jam clock. Currently, the jam is in control of Mariah Cherry. Mariah Cherry looking to make another pass through, trying to get some help offense there. Muscogee recalibrating, resetting, and as the game clock expires, goes off the jam. MVPs are gonna be. Wait till the score goes final to get out here and congratulate these two teams. And with the whistle, it is a final Dixie Derby 238, Muscogee 106. And give it up to the Dixie Derby Girls. And give us just a moment, we'll find out who our MVP, Chandler, and Walkers are going to be. As always, makes it easy.